So today I'm making kind of a reaction slash response video to another YouTuber that made a video about Spongebob. This guy, Demich, and like it's not like when I reacted to those AI Spongebob content farms. Like this, I have nothing against this guy. He just made a video about Spongebob, and I feel like I do not agree. So I will like take a look at his points and see what I have to say about them.
There have been a ton of videos about modern SpongeBob recently. I feel like I've stepped back in a time machine to 2014, considering how many videos bashing the sponge have surfaced recently.
Why were like more than half the results my videos? The channel has really made it far.
But the thing is, these videos aren't retreading old ground. They're absolutely warranted.
Okay, why is he based? I was going into this expecting kind of the opposite, but let's see what he says next.
Because after Sponge on the Run, SpongeBob has gone downhill again. But the reason why is totally different. What exactly makes a bad SpongeBob episode? What is the formula to make a nasty patty of an episode?
That's actually a good question, but I don't think you're gonna get an answer to that from looking at classic SpongeBob.
In season 6 or 7, and a lot of season 8, it's due to flanderization of the characters. They're also made to be unlikable, and there's barely any comedy. Rather than being entertaining, it's more of an exercise in frustration to watch these episodes.
Yeah, that's valid.
But modern SpongeBob? It is bad because it's literally just another cartoon reliant on wacky faces, noises, and occasionally gross out.
Super based. To me the show is just not funny anymore, and that's the main problem with everything he just mentioned kind of just being add-ons that like makes it less enjoyable, but I think the comedy is the biggest problem.
I'm talking about most episodes after Sponge on the Run, and the onslaught of spin-offs. You might have had parents hate SpongeBob because they saw it as nothing but obnoxious laughing and pure nonsense. Not nautical nonsense, pure nonsense.
Didn't I say that? Hey, wait a minute.
This series has become a stereotype of what parents thought it was back when it began. These bad episodes really picked up starting with season 12, because SpongeBob did get good for a while after Sponge Out of Water, and even before with a lot of season 9.
While I agree, it was definitely better before season 12, I wouldn't say it ever got good again, but definitely better than what we got now.
We all know the golden era consists of seasons 1 through 3. To be fair, I also love seasons 4 and 5, but something about the first 3 seasons, nearly every episode, is iconic.
He's not even a seasons 1 to 4 person. Like, I would probably get along well when like talking about SpongeBob with this guy.
But I wanted to do something different. Instead of talking about a bad modern SpongeBob episode, I wanted to see if there is a truly bad episode from the golden era.
My answer would be no. I think the golden era has some weaker episodes that I'm sure are gonna feature in this video, but I wouldn't say any of them are bad ones.
There are episodes I'm not crazy about, like Neptune's Spatula. Why the hell was Patrick's face on his butt throughout most of the episode?
Neptune's Spatula is great. One of the most underrated season 1 episodes to me. Good comedy, like really good comedy, and a really strong story as well.
It has to be I'm With Stupid, right? Patrick is so mean-spirited and an absolute pat prick to SpongeBob. What he's doing is wrong, he knows it's wrong, but he's gonna do it anyway.
Except it's funny, so I'm never gonna call this episode bad. It's like a mid-season era or like early post-movie era episode done not like 100% right, but way better.
Nah, that's actually a great episode. Seeing Patrick get so arrogant while still being an absolute dumbass is nothing short of hilarious. And the twist ending makes it even better.
Bro, is this me? Do I have an old channel? Well, yes, but I'm agreeing a lot here.
The episode I found, and what I consider to be the worst episode out of the Golden Era, is a special episode. Meaning that it airs so rarely, you may have never seen it. But considering how it turned out, maybe that's for the better. The worst episode of classic SpongeBob is none other than SpongeBob's House Party, also known as Party Pooper Pants.
Nah, this episode is good. Not the highlight of season 3, but also not even the weakest special of the season. It's like a 7.5 out of 10 for me, probably.
But just how bad could it be? Are we talking season 6 to 7 bad, modern bad, or Sandy movie bad?
None of them in my opinion. Not even like at the bottom of pre-movie SpongeBob.
It's time to find out and take a look at the worst episode of classic SpongeBob. SpongeBob's House Party starts off like a typical SpongeBob special. It starts off with Patchy the Pirate hosting a party of his own. You gotta love the Patchy segments.
Yeah, this is like one of the best Patchy segments of the whole show in my opinion. A lot of stuff going on and just very fun.
There's also a really funny joke about Patchy sending SpongeBob and Patrick invitations, but the ink washes off because it's a limitation of being underwater. So what better thing to do than to throw him in the underwater fire?
See, I unironically think that this joke is better than any joke I've seen in modern SpongeBob. And it's not even like breaking top 100 classic SpongeBob jokes. That's like the difference we're talking about.
We're off to a really good start, but the real test is going to be the actual SpongeBob episode. It starts off with SpongeBob acting like an absolute maniac in the store getting groceries.
This scene is really fun as well. SpongeBob being so hyped in contrast to the cashier is funny.
It's pretty funny how much of a deadbeat this cashier is.
Yeah, that.
And there's a pretty funny joke where SpongeBob has a picture of him before and after meeting him. But something then catches SpongeBob's attention. The Plan Your Own Party kit. After leaving the bargain mart, SpongeBob decides to start preparing for a party. The intro is actually quite good.
The whole episode is. I'm gonna be cutting out most of the parts where he's like recapping the episode and talking about other stuff and focus on, you know, what he says about like the actual quality of the episode, like what's funny or not funny and stuff, in his opinion.
There's some goofy SpongeBob humor here, like him putting deviled eggs into a piñata. I wouldn't say anything that funny, but entertaining.
Yeah, the comedy in the first part is like a mid-tier pre-movie. Good gags, nothing crazy, I agree.
SpongeBob shows Gary how he intricately planned the party, and that moment right there sets the tone for the entire episode. Guests start arriving to the party. It's a rare opportunity to showcase character dynamics we don't often see, considering that nearly everyone is here.
Which is one of my favorite things about the episode.
You got a glimpse of SpongeBob being irrational, overreacting when guests didn't show up exactly on time, like arriving literal seconds late. But the moment SpongeBob gets angry and becomes a full-on D-bag is when Mr. Krabs and Patrick start having a conversation.
No, you dumb bunny, it says, "Hello, my name is Patrick."
Nice to meet you, Patrick.
Good one, Patrick.
Yeah.
Patrick is so funny in this episode.
What's going on here? The laughter isn't scheduled until 9:03. You want to throw a party? Do it at your house, Patrick.
That is the moment that kickstarts the entire tone of this episode.
Didn't you just say that, King?
I have you making light conversation with Mr. Krabs from 10:41 to 10:47. No! Let's try to stick to the schedule, shall we?
This stuff is pretty funny. He's annoying, yes, but it's mostly like to the characters. Compare this to him in like A Pal for Gary, where he's actually annoying to the audience.
Everybody talks about SpongeBob's secret pet Scallop as the most unknown character.
I did that too. You know, I'm really influential and special, I know.
But the real unknown character is SpongeBob's bow tie, because whenever he wears it, he becomes an absolutely arrogant D-bag. One of the worst tropes for a SpongeBob episode are the Squidward torture episodes. It's not enjoyable to watch a character get annoyed or tormented for no reason.
Is he gonna say that this is a Squidward torture episode now? Oh wait, no, this is not that Twitter guy.
This really is an incredibly annoying episode. The main joke? SpongeBob's guests are having fun at the party, but because they're doing things outside of SpongeBob's planned schedule, SpongeBob then yells at them and does things like vacuum up cake after a guest eats it.
And then what happens to him? The whole joke is that SpongeBob is being annoying, just like you said, and the writers know that in this episode, unlike in many post-movie episodes.
SpongeBob is completely out of character. There's nothing wrong with SpongeBob becoming angry and getting out of character. One of the best episodes, Can You Spare a Dime, is exactly that. Part of what makes it such a memorable episode is how SpongeBob progressively gets more frustrated with Squidward taking advantage of his kindness, and eventually, he completely blows up on Squidward and Mr. Krabs.
But in this episode you would be annoyed by Squidward, by your logic. Like, if you're being annoyed at the character that's supposed to be annoying to the other characters, then what's different here? You can't compare SpongeBob in these two episodes, you should compare SpongeBob in Party Pooper Pants and Squidward in Can You Spare a Dime, since the episodes have them to be annoying respectively and getting like karma for it.
The reason why it works and why it's hilarious is because SpongeBob's anger was completely warranted, and it progressed from him gladly wanting to help Squidward, to annoyance, to frustration, and then rage. But in SpongeBob's house party, there's no build-up. He literally goes from happy to angry like that, and the breaking point is just Mr. Krabs and Patrick talking to each other and laughing.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Considering this is a special episode, the main gimmick is seeing characters interact that usually wouldn't. You know what's interesting? The character interactions are really funny.
And it works really good as well, since we see this happen once SpongeBob gets thrown out of his own party for being annoying.
There's a scene where Patrick straight up hits on Mrs. Puff.
So, do you come here often?
No.
Hilarious as well.
That was hysterical. And even outside of those elusive interactions, all the characters besides SpongeBob are in character and are really entertaining. SpongeBob ends up getting locked out of his own house and then arrested because he didn't invite the cops to his party. You'd usually feel bad for SpongeBob, but considering how he is in this episode, you don't feel bad for him at all. You're rooting it on.
Which is the point. It's deserved since, yeah, exactly what you're gonna say, SpongeBob is annoying. I don't see how this is not a positive for the episode. The character being annoying, getting punished. Just like Squidward in Can You Spare a Dime, except here he, like, really gets punished.
The episode ends with SpongeBob coming back and finding out the party was a success after Patrick told him. When it ended, I was a bit shocked how short it was. It really feels like an 11-minute episode, with the rest being patchy segments.
Yeah, that's unfortunately like half of this show's specials, but I think that can be good since many of the more gimmicky ones, like UGG, can really use the switch up and shorter runtimes.
And the finale being a song performed by the Bird Brains called Underwater Sun. I might get flack for this, but honestly, I'm not crazy about this song.
This song is absolute fire, I cannot agree at all.
It genuinely feels like something Nickelodeon would have requested to promote the series. Like they felt that SpongeBob needed a music video. It has a sort of corporate vibe to it that I can't exactly pinpoint, but you can probably kind of see what I mean.
Nah, I can't. This music video is amazing, and basically what he just described is like one of the main reasons I like it. It's something very different for the show.
Yeah, maybe, no thanks. I'll stick to all the SpongeBobs and Glorb. SpongeBob's house party gets a 5 out of 10. I will say, it's not one of the worst episodes of the series. Far from it.
Not gonna lie, you're even beating me on clickbait with the awful in the title about 5 out of 10 episode. Like I said, it's like a 7.5 for me. The Sponge Who Could Fly is way worse, and that one is still not awful. Like, I honestly don't think pre-movie Spongebob can be awful, so that's like, you know, the main reason I decided to react to this video. Now let's check what the comments have to say.